Hello, friends. Are you also worried that whether your job is safe in the era of AI or is it at a risk of probably elimination? So, I decided to take a look at this from a very practical point of view, which is why I've created this presentation, which I'll share with you. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So, I'll just share my screen and yeah. I hope you're able to see my screen. Let's get started and let's look at this in a very practical way. So first, an important point is that what will get automated is very routine, rule-based task, repeatable tasks. Okay, something which has a very standard kind of a logic. Okay, what will get augmented is basically the drafting part of it, the analysis part of it, screening and summarizing part of it. And what are the jobs which will be more in demand is basically the jobs which require judgment, which requires relationships, which requires strategy adoption, etc. So those are the jobs which will definitely get elevated. Those will be more in demand. So let's now look at the actual set of jobs which are still relevant. So again, this is my own take. Uh, you may agree or disagree, but this is something which I feel that based on my 25 years of experience, I feel this is how the world is moving forward in the era of HR. So probably CHRO or the head HR role will still be relevant. HRBP role or a strategic partner role, though in a very changed format, will still be relevant. Then handling employee relations, since this requires human interaction, OD and change management, uh, which requires a lot of judgment, leadership development, which is again, there is no standard toolkit. Each of the situation is different. Talent management, where you talk about uh, understanding and developing the high potential talent within the organization. These roles will still be relevant and still in demand. What will partially get automated? Probably recruitment. Yes, we are already seeing that a lot of recruitment roles are, some part of it is getting automated. HR analytics is one important field. L&D design, part of it. Compensation and benefits, some part of it will definitely get automated. Payroll supervision, auditing part of it, and definitely HR operations. So this role will get augmented. So some part will remain with humans, some part will be replaced with AI. What roles will get consolidated is basically the resume screening, or somebody who's just preparing MIS reports, or somebody who's just doing the grievance handling, data entry. Those are the kind of roles which probably will get eliminated. Typically, the low-end roles which will get impacted. Again, one more interesting shift that is happening in last couple of years is that a lot of GCCs are coming in, and what GCCs are actually doing is eliminating duplicate roles within the organization. For example, let's say HRBP role, which was there across multiple locations within the organization. So the organization probably had a very practical look at it, and instead of having maybe 100 HRBPs, they probably set up a GCC, and instead of those 100, maybe those 20 HRBPs are able to do the role. So those roles are getting not getting eliminated, but definitely any such common roles, like even recruiter roles, are coming under the central function under GCC. So what are the roles that will still stay relevant? As I said, CHRO head HR role, because it has some critical elements like workforce strategy, culture, trust, and developing the trust. Okay. And a lot of executive decision making is in this role, which is why this role is important. Strategic partner role is again a business advisory. Okay. Manager coaching. Okay. All those things are basically where you need a human interaction. It is not a mechanical role, which is why that will still be relevant. Employee relations, handling conflicts, and handling investigation, handling decisions with a fairness, okay, any sensitive decisions, which is why employee relations will remain relevant. Leadership development is again very subjective in nature. It requires a lot of coaching, behavior change. So some of those roles will stay relevant. Talent management, so understanding high potential talent, critical roles, all those things will again stay relevant. OD or the change management. So again, creating a complete new operating model, culture change. Those are the things which again AI for AI it will be difficult to understand. CNB strategy lead. So again, not the entire compensation benefit, but somebody who's basically developing a reward philosophy, etc. Those are the roles which will remain important. DI or the inclusion lead, okay, because understanding of the culture that is very sensitive, representation, okay, which again this requires a lot of judgment, so that role will remain relevant, and people experience lead. Okay, so overall, in terms of we today talk about different employee experience, candidate experience, that role again will remain relevant. So read the important line here. So it says that your role depends on how much of your role actually involves judgment, trust, and the context change. Yeah. So those are the areas. So the most important part of it is basically human judgment part of it. So wherever the thinking is required, something which has a lot of subjective portions in it, are the roles which will still remain relevant. Why CHRO role becomes more important? Because AI cannot own the culture of the organization. Okay, it cannot own the workforce strategy. Uh, what are the ethical considerations? Okay, executive alignment, because it requires a lot of senior leadership interactions, etc. So again, it is very difficult, and this role is getting more and more prominence in today's time. Uh, what CHROs have to do, CHROs have to understand the AI risk, okay, and align the roles accordingly and ensure that how do we augment the AI so that it's going to be the model is going to be the HR team plus AI, both of them are working together in a homogeneous manner. uh, Leadership development and talent management are again very important. I think it involves a lot of coaching interactions. It requires succession readiness. Then in the talent management, potential movement, okay, retention of the talent, etc. So all those things are still very human judgment specific, and that cannot be very easily automated. So those roles will remain relevant. Now let's look at the roles which will get partially automated. And this is where I think most of the chunk of HR people are right now working on is talent acquisition. So in the talent acquisition, if you're still doing it in a very conventional way, looking at the resumes and trying to screen every single resume individually, if you don't have any softwares to automate the screening, sourcing process, screening process, scheduling process. A lot of those things can now be done with the help of AI, so that your focus actually should be on improving the quality of resumes that you get. How do you strengthen the employer brand, etc. So we'll come to those aspects at a later part, but that is something which will remain more relevant. HR analytics again. How do you use that HR data to find, take the decisions? Okay, not only the analysis, but how do you use that data? Okay, and how do you use that data for the benefit of the organization and in a very efficient way? Earlier, probably it used to take, you know, clumsy softwares. You need to input a lot of data. Today, you don't need to do that. The AI will do that job for you literally in minutes. Okay. L&D designers, where you used to actually design a training calendar, etc., or create training program contents. You don't need to do that anymore. Okay. Your role probably will involve more about competency and the skill building of people. Okay. CNB analyst, okay, where you need to analyze, you used to do a lot of benchmarking data and analysis of data churning. All that can be literally done by AI very fast. So again, you don't need that role. payroll lead whose job was basically to validate whether the team has done the correct job. A lot of that part will get automated. There will be automated tools which will verify the data, and only few areas will be there where you actually need to see the human intervention. So these are some of the roles, okay, where I see that there is a scope that those roles will get partially automated. Okay. Uh, Recruitment will get heavily automated, but it will not be eliminated, because today I think most of you know how to create JDs, or okay, how to schedule the interviews, etc. Get the resume summaries. All that can be done if you are able to if you know how to use ChatGPT or any other tools, etc. So what will be human owned? Okay, there is a hiring calibration. So you need to still involve a judgment that, okay, out of these four candidates, who's probably the best fit for this? Then the candidate trust. Today's time, it has become more relevant because as an employer, brand has to be strengthened so that you can attract the right candidates. Salary negotiation and the final judgment will still remain human. Okay, so combinedly, how can you use a lot of those operational parts of the recruiting so that you will be able to do higher order things? That is something where recruiting will move. HR analytics is basically will move from report making to decision intelligence. That ultimately, what are the decisions that needs to be taken? So you should be able to use that data effectively. And going forward, I also intend to make some videos on this where I'll show you how actually we can use the HR data to basically find out a lot of things where we can do multiple range of analysis. I used to work in the field of HR analytics. I've done that for a couple of years, and now that entire automation can be done using the chat GPT or any other AI models very effectively, and you get very surprising and interesting inputs from this. Now let's look at what are the roles which will get completely automated. So let's say, if you have a separate sourcing team, if you have a separate screening team, if you are doing only resume shortlisting, those are the roles which will definitely get automated. Okay, then a lot of data entry roles who used to basically manage the HR data entry, or somebody who used to do prepare MIS, etc. You literally don't need those additional resources, because all those things, once you give the input, you will be able to prepare those reports very smartly. Then grievance handling, again, you won't need. Today's even HRMS have become smart, and they have an AI assistant where lot of queries related to salary, or related to your basic queries about policies can be easily answered, and those HR chatbots are now available now. And those will even get smarter with time, where you don't need somebody to answer those queries, etc., for you. So these are some of the roles which are definitely at the risk of missing. So routine tasks will basically get into this thing. Those will get absorbed into the system. Uh, what are the new HR roles that will emerge? And I was hearing one of the speech from Mr. Chandrasekharan, who's TCS chairman, Tata Group chairman, and he said that we will have equal or similar kind of a workforce, AI workforce, like a human workforce, and that is going to happen in every single field. So when there is AI, of course, you need people who manage the AI. So uh, basically creating different AI agents or AI product owner, then AI governance lead to track whether is there any bias, removing that bias, etc., and ensuring that all the data filtering is happening in a very non-judgmental way. Okay, then employee experience designer, where what kind of experience do you want to give? There'll be very few employees, and how do you ensure that you retain, but that is going to be the best kind of a talent. So how do you retain that this thing? All those new kind of roles will get created. This is still a very, very conceptual. Okay. And this is how basically we will be looking at all this, different data sources. Now, coming towards the end of this presentation, if you're a HR professional, if you're starting your career, or if you've been in the HR profession for a few years now, what should you do? First important thing is to map your task, uh, understand which are the tasks, which are the very, very routine kind of a task, and that can be easily automated based on whatever I have shared with you. Which are the tasks which involve the human judgment, relationship building, etc. Those are the tasks which will remain relevant. So essentially, you need to understand how do you upgrade yourself. And uh, in fact, I feel that HRs today, with the help of, rather than fearing AI, you can actually increase your efficiency by 10x if you know how to smartly use AI. Okay. And then how do you build HR agents? Okay, how do you create the JD drafts, etc. Again, I intend to create this not only as a standalone video, but a series of videos where we will learn and understand how do you use AI effectively, so that we get the best out of the AI and also improve our human judgment alongside. Okay, building the AI governance. Okay, that is going to be a very, very critical role. That there has to be guardrails that whatever. Lot of times AI also hallucinate. So sometimes if it doesn't have the information, it will try to just fill in the information for the sake of it. Okay, so understanding that, removing biases is going to be the thing. And most important is moving up the value chain. Okay, so analyze your role. If you're still, unfortunately, our education system is such that it still doesn't teach you what is required for today's world. So understand what is required for you to do your job effectively, and wherever the judgment is required, wherever relationship building is required, where your thinking is required, those are the roles which will thrive in the future, right? So what is something that I think this, what is the safest HR role? Okay, so the safest role is where it owns the judgment, it owns the trust, adoption, and the business outcomes. Yeah, any routine kind of a roles, etc., will basically not be a right thing to have. You need to actually move up the value chain. So what I want to leave you with the thought that AI will not replace you, but somebody who knows how to use AI effectively can definitely replace you, right? So to conclude the video, these are some of the topics which are at the back of my mind, where uh, I already have the content ready and I intend to share with all of you. So if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe my channel, and please comment in the comment section which is the topic, either this topic or any other topic where you want me to make a video. I'll definitely try to make that video and share with you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for your time, and look forward to meeting you again. Thank you.